and therefore it has begun to record. When you're finished, it will send the recording to the cloud and then let you know when it's ready for you to view and edit as you would.
Okay, very good. I think Larry suggested there are video editing softwares out there that I can use to edit it because I'm not used to that because I'm so used to Audacity and Audible.
Exactly. Same with me. Anytime I have to make a like a book trailer for one of the audiobooks I've done, or a how-to video like I used to do with my old company. It takes me a while to remember how to do it, and I've only recently acquired the rights to be able to use or subscribe to Adobe Premiere. And because I use Adobe Audition for editing audio, and therefore using another Adobe product to edit video. It uses most of the same terminology, and the layout is very similar. So it's not like starting from scratch. It's extraordinarily expensive, and I wouldn't recommend it if you could find less expensive alternatives. If you have, do you have a Mac or are you on a computer like I am?
IBM computer.
Yep, same here. I know that they have built-in Apple utilities that I don't think they're as expensive. A lot of people swear by them as very useful. So at some point, I'll have to learn how to use those, but not today. Um, the other thing I'd mention was Microsoft, which comes with Windows. When you open up your photo app in Microsoft, I'm sorry, in Windows, when you open up your photo app, which of course comes with Windows, you'll notice at the top there's a little thing that says Microsoft Chip Clip Champ, not Chip, Microsoft Clip Champ, which basically lets you edit video free of charge. It comes with Windows. It's bundled,
Hmm.
and it does a very, I'm sure there's not too many bells and whistles on it, but for a Zoom video, for an interview, you don't need that many bells and whistles when you're editing, unless you want to get real jiggy with it. But you did watch the video that I sent you, I hope, the one on Jay Bergen and the guy John Lennon on a local PBS station with Yoko Ono puts out a ladder and the guy goes to the top of the ladder and the whole thing is like
Yeah, I
jump,
saw it, and he fell.
and he fell and he broke his arm and you could see him hold the arm.
Yikes!
Jay Bergen defended that guy, or not defended, but that guy sued John Lennon, and Jay Bergen actually did the lawsuit to defend John Lennon. But the guy waited too long to go to court, and so the whole thing was dismissed. It never did anything. But I edited that using Clipchamp, and I managed to get all the videos that I needed online, mostly from YouTube, that kind of thing, and all the video that I'd taken of Jay and he was with a photographer at the time. Um, uh, Famous rock and roll. I can't remember his name. Bob Gruen. There you go. He was with Bob Gruen. I was at the autographing where they were talking about this. So I taped them. I taped, and then I flew in some audio from a radio interview that Jay was giving. And then I added in that part. All of that editing I did, and I think it came out okay if you watched it.
Yeah, I saw it.
So I think the editing, even though it was basic, I think it looked pretty good.
Very good.
And I did that for free using Clipchamp. So I would say give that a chance
I
because
will.
it won't overwhelm you with too many options.
Well,
Adobe Premiere does, and it's very hard to use. You know, if you've ever tried to use Photoshop in your life, I have, and I still for the life of me, I can't even like crop a photo very easily in Photoshop. Just something basic as resaving something as a bitmap instead of a JPEG. Still takes me way too long. Not to mention the fact of like actually photoshopping something. That's beyond my skills.
yeah, I had
I'll go back to paint instead.
in school recently.
Gosh, you know.
I was having problems with Pro Tools. That's an audio program, and yikes! But
I've never even tried it.
Hmm.
I know they used it at the studio when I recorded my very first demo when I went up to Albany, New York, and they were using Pro Tools because, of course, I asked and I wrote down all the information, but it was too expensive.
Many bells and whistles for me, but the college came out. Pikes Peak Community College came out with a much simpler program, and I got into that. Now I'm using Audacity, and I started using that in June
Okay, good.
for, and I like it. And now I'm going to the public library, and I'm learning and taking lessons on a program software called DaVinci Resolve.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Hmm. And that'll
Uh,
help me convert my audio short stories. I can't even talk anymore. I'll be all right. Have drugs to take effect. Um, um,
you remind me, I've got to take
I'm
mine too.
learning DaVinci Resolve, and it'll help me convert my audio short stories into videos so I can submit them to shorts film festivals. That's what
Very
I'm.
good.
If you've seen that program called Dust, D-U-S-T, have you seen that? It
That
has
one I haven't.
it has a lot. You can go on YouTube right now. There's a lot of science fiction, fantasy, and horror. That's what they mainly do on those. And that's a show. My goodness, show. I don't know if it's on the internet or it was on television. I don't know, but they're on YouTube. And people submit their short stories to Dust, and they air them if they think it's worthy of being aired. Some might
Okay,
not, worthy of being aired. It's just amateuristic, and they might not want to air it. But
there we go. And that's called Dust?
it's Dust, D-U-S-T.
D-U-S-T. Got it.
Go on YouTube and look up, just put Dust Sci-Fi Short Films. Like, what's sci-fi? let me grab some water. Um,
Sure.
I'll be right back.
No problem.
And
Okay. Da, da, da,
oh, by
da.
the way, when I come back, can you tell me when Larry Groby and Pete Lutz, when you guys do the Hollywood Squares? Yeah, I'll call it Hollywood. Not the Brady Bunch. I'll call it the Hollywood. I've been calling it the Brady Bunch. The
Okay.
Hollywood Squares view to get all the actors in it. Um, just show me how to do it. I'm going to get some water right now.
Well, sure.
Uh, okay, I'm back.
Very good.
And my microphone's coming in through okay?
I can hear you just fine. So, yes, it is.
Okay, where is that button? I think Larry showed me last time. I got to get used to these buttons.
So,
Zoom
first
is,
question is, what are you zooming on? Are you on your computer or are you on a tablet or on your phone?
I'm on my laptop in my apartment.
Much better because that makes it easier to find things because I made sure that I'm on my laptop so the controls look the same as what you're looking at. And let's see. Oh, it is different on here, isn't it?
Oh, wait a minute. I got it. My thing might be different than yours. I got a thing. I think last time Larry told me, I looked, there's a more button.
Yes.
Click on the more button, and it says Docs, Notes, Whiteboard, Meeting
And
Info, Reset to Default. That was,
those you won't need.
I don't need
Not for
default.
this.
Oh, no,
Not for this. Do you see where it says to the left of that, participants?
yes, I
Notice there's a drop down arrow to the right of it.
got it.
That's the key. Well, actually, no, that isn't the key. Um,
It always says invite, and underneath that, copy invite link.
That's a quick way, by the way, of getting people to join you after you've already started a Zoom with somebody. Let's say there's somebody who calls you on their phone. You're like, I can't find the invite. I can't get on. I'm late. I'm sorry. That's one thing you can do is to invite. If you click on invite, you'll be able to email it to them, or is it message? Email. You'll be able to email anybody.
Mhm. And
And if you have like messaging also on your computer, you can just copy the invite, copy into the message as long as the other person's using messaging, like from Facebook, for instance. So where is it to change? So give me a second, because now I can't find it.
I
But
do
no, oh, there it is. I'm so stupid. The very top right of your screen, all the way at the top right, and right now I'm in full screen mode. And I don't have it minimized to make it easier to find hidden menus. It'll say something like recording. You'll see the amount of time. To the right of that, mine says original sound for musicians off. Do you see that anywhere at the very top right of your screen?
top. It says, I'll read you what it says at the very top.
Yes.
Right. It says sign in, recording, and then view. That's what it has.
Click on view.
Got it. Okay.
There's an option for gallery.
There it is. I guess what,
Gallery gets you
yeah,
the Brady Bunch.
that is what is already checked. It might have been checked when I was on with Larry.
That
Okay.
sounds good then. Speaker is the one that only shows who's ever talking. And sometimes that's a help. If you're doing a one-on-one interview, you'll want to see the person talking, but sometimes you'll always want to see both people or multiple people talking. However, if you choose speaker, it's a little easier because then you don't see the person who isn't talking looking off into the distance or staring at their phone. And it can be distracting to a viewer who's watching, who's like, they're distracted by watching whoever isn't talking. They're not paying attention to the speaker. So using speaker can really help sometimes.
If I hit speaker now, I'm just going to get you.
You'll only see whoever's talking.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. I'll
And you
hit
should
speaker
see a
now.
little picture at the very top. Do you have two pictures, a picture within a picture?
Yes.
Excellent.
On the bottom, predominantly it's you, and on top is me.
Good. And because I changed my view to be speaker as well. Notice there are other options underneath that. There's change theme, hide self view, multi speaker. What I would suggest is anytime you have an important interview coming up, and Charles Pellegrino is pretty important.
Oh yeah.
You know, I don't know if you know it, but he did sign, or at least he has a nod from James Cameron to do Cameron's next non-Avatar movie, which
Right.
is kind of a big deal, which
Yes.
is based on, I think, I don't remember which of Mr. Pellegrino's books or his brand new one. I just picked up his Pompeii book and I love it.
Hmm.
And I remember reading his Titanic book back in the 80s, or his first. I know he's written a couple of them. Anyway, I digress. But before you have somebody important on, you want to practice by yourself. You can always start instantly a Zoom meeting just with yourself, just to get practice with all of the menus. Just practice them. See what all of them do. And then record something with yourself. Play it back later. See how it looks. Is the audio good? Is the video good? Um, you can always delete it when you're done because time, space is limited, especially with a free account. And right now, I can see that you're limited to 40 minutes, is it?
Yes.
So that you want to make sure to not lose any time. The most frequent problem with Zoom is once you're up to speed, whoever your guest is, they're not up to speed. And you waste precious minutes of your recording time, or actually not even your recording time, your meeting time, waiting for them to find out which microphone they're talking into. I can't tell you how many Zoom calls I've had with the person going, and you'll go nuts waiting for them to find the right control on the screen. Trust me, I've I help seniors with some of this stuff, and I'm a senior myself, but with this stuff who aren't technically inclined. Fortunately for me, I love computers, and I took courses in it and all that kind of stuff. So even though I'm older, I love the stuff. But most people of my age and older, they don't. And
Hmm.
it's a challenge when you want to interview them or talk to them on Zoom as they try desperately to, I can't see anybody. Oh my gosh. So know where the menu options are um, by practicing with them yourself. And then always ask, what are you zooming on? Because the way Zoom works is all the menus move when you switch from computer to a smaller device. They cleverly hide the menu so it's not just a small screen filled with words that you have to click on. Most of them are hidden. If you're on a touch screen, most of the controls you don't see until you touch the screen. And the people you're trying to help don't know that. So get practice not only on a computer, but you can Zoom on your phone. And that's a great way to practice and to see the different menus.
Now,
I always
what does multi-speaker mean?
Multi-speaker means if you've selected two people to talk,
Right.
you'll be able just to see those two and not the rest. Zoom will let you identify somebody as the speaker, and you basically pin them to the screen so that it's basically you change everybody else's view when you're in charge of the call. You can do that. You can force them all to turn their cameras off. That comes in very handy. Trust me, that comes in handy. I have stories. You can force them to turn off their audio, also very handy. If you ever have a presentation that you're doing, let's say for a library or a town hall or something, you're Zooming, and normally there's somebody recording who's in charge of all of that. They're going to turn off all of the audience interactions so that all they do is see you without having to hear somebody coughing in the background or watching a dog walk by the video. I've seen everything, and it comes in handy. Then you just turn on whatever the audience needs to do. You can turn off comments, but you can leave on things like there's a little virtual raise hand. And so if you are taking questions, you can see who's submitted a question. There is an option to do questions in writing. You'll see at the bottom that there's a little heart that says react. You could leave that on so that the audience, you can ask them like, does everybody understand? And you'll get an idea from how many people are showing hearts or thumbs up and how many people are showing mean faces or something to give you an idea of like, okay, well, I see a good deal of you don't know what I'm talking about. So let me just go over this one point again. You won't need most of those for a regular interview. For an interview, you just want to make sure that you've got your own background should be as uncluttered as you can. You can use virtual ones. The one I'm using now is the one that I used as a background when I was doing the Jimmy Stewart episode of a Jack Benny program for Project Audion last summer.
Hmm.
And the reason I use that, because normally I just show the background in my booth. But the schedule of when they were recording was I was down at the shore and I had sunlight coming in and there wasn't any good background. So, in order to make the room sound less boxy, I had to wrap myself with the curtain next to the sliding door, and I'd look like an idiot, and it would be very distracting. So I found this, and it just happens that I'm blocking the guest star, who's Charlie McCarthy and Edgar Bergen. But you get to see the rest of Jack Benny's cast doing a Lucky Strike episode, And it worked out fine. They're like, "Oh wow, Scott, you've already got the right show queued up with the right sponsor."
By the way, who played Jimmy Stewart? James Stewart.
I did.
You did.
Yeah, yeah, I think I did a pretty good job. I did. If you listen to Madison on the Air, I did Jimmy Stewart, and um, not it's a wonderful. Oh, yeah, it's a Wonderful Life for her Christmas special that she did.
Nice.